Let's talk about Childe, who is likely going to be in the Abyss again very soon. He made a pretty neat appearance in Arlecchino Story Quest from version 4.6, where I think we got some good foreshadowing for what's next for him. I think it narratively makes sense that the next time we see Childe, it'll be in the Abyss, likely due to Project Stuzha. This is the first story quest where we've had two Harbingers present, and I think Hoyoverse did this to give us a hint to where his character is going, which is the Abyss. I really appreciated Childe's role in Arlecchino's story quest, so let's go over it. His main role was helping us keep Arlecchino's attention preoccupied for Linny and the others, which was quite appreciated both from a plot point of view because it gave us more insight into the Fatui's future plans with Project Stuzha, and a character point of view because it fleshed out Childe's future. Also, I thought it was a nice touch that Childe seemed to have purposely picked up on the fact that we wanted to keep Arlecchino's attention preoccupied, and so he purposely stayed longer to entertain our questions for Arlecchino. Anyways, Childe's appearance solidified two main points. So, number one, it further emphasized his desire to see his master Skirk again, who's based in the Abyss. And number two, his specific role in Project Stuzha, being led by Pochinella and Pantalone. Ever since Childe came out way back in version 1.1, his voice lines told us about his experience in the Abyss, where he was found and trained by Skirk at the age of 14, who taught him his foul legacy form. He was there for 3 months, but only 3 days passed in the surface world. Ever since then, he searched far and wide for Skirk again, to no avail. That is, until he showed up in Fontaine during the Archon quest, where, upon his search for Skirk, he ended up in the Primordial Sea where he fought the all-devouring Narwhal for a very long time, eventually losing consciousness, with Skirk showing up again to yeet him back into Teyvat. We can now assume that Skirk did this because she didn't deem him ready, because as Childe says,
basically, unless Master feels there's a need to meet with me, she's not going to be found.
So, narratively speaking, Childe and Skirk were reunited, although Childe was unconscious, but the writers decided to separate them again, which is reinforced by what Childe says. Hoyoverse isn't ready yet to have Childe and Skirk meet again, they simply teased us. It begs the question, when will Childe be ready? Well, luckily, Childe answers this for us in the story quest.
But that problem has an easy fix. I just need to become stronger, and then...
Ah, interesting. So the answer is that Skirk will eventually show herself to him again when he's much stronger. This is a pretty good thematic reason as well because it aligns perfectly with Childe's natural lust for battle and desire to grow stronger, to eventually conquer the world. And here's where Project Stuzha comes in, which is a secret Fatui project overseen by the two Harbingers, Pochinella and Pantalone. Childe is specifically chosen, and we have some good ideas of where this could be heading. When Wanderer was still a Harbinger, he mentioned that Piero had regularly sent him on various missions to the Abyss, indicating that constant trips to the Abyss were important to the Fatui. Now that Scaramouche has been erased by Irminsul, his previous 6th Harbinger seat is both empty, and Piero no longer has him around to take these missions in the Abyss. So this is where Childe comes in, where he can fill Scaramouche's previous role, and Childe is likely a perfect fit for the role due to his previous experience in the Abyss, his desire to meet Skirk again, and his lust for combat, which the Abyss will definitely have, being full of strong enemies and dangers. Project Stuzha likely requires many fighters to combat the Abyss forces. As such, Project Stuzha's involvement in the Abyss is likely what makes it a dangerous project, because the Fatui knows that it needs to deploy and sacrifice many forces. The danger is further emphasized by Linny, who points out that the House of the Heart's honored role in the project means that it's a dangerous one, furthering the likelihood that this has to be related to the Abyss, where I believe the Fatui will appreciate having as many forces as possible to deploy to the Abyss, including using members of the House of the Hearth. As Arlecchino points out, it would be rather convenient for the Fatui if a competing organization of information, that is the House of the Hearth, were to lose its power and influence. And so, Project Stuzha involving dangerous missions in the Abyss will be a perfect narrative and thematic reason to have Childe as part of the project, likely leading the front lines in the Abyss. Childe has likely already gotten much stronger after his fight with the Narwhal, and he'll be able to fight more strong enemies in the Abyss, becoming even stronger as a result, and getting closer and closer to Skirk again. And how the story goes from there when they finally reunite, well, that is going to be up to our imagination. Again, Childe didn't need to be an Arlecchino story quest, but it definitely enhanced the storytelling, giving us a good insight into both his character and Arlecchino's character, which I appreciated a lot. Anyways, I've always been a big fan of Childe, so I'm always excited to see him in the story and see where his character goes from here on out. That's it for this one, so thank you for watching, and till next time.
I like the sound of that. Well, I'm off. See you all some other time.
Peace, bro.